Mr. Peaks is making his official debut in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies as a field upgrade, and in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of his abilities and his 6 different augments to give you an idea of which ones you might want to run when you get your hands on him. Before we get into it, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already for everything Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 Zombies. With that out of the way, let's get into it. So in my personal opinion, Mr. Peaks is not only the most interesting field upgrade in Black Ops 6 Zombies, I think he might be the most interesting field upgrade in the entire modern era of Call of Duty Zombies. Well, pretty much every field upgrade up to this point has either been targeted towards a defensive field upgrade or an offensive one. Mr. Peaks doesn't really fall into either of those categories. He's more of like an equipment, in my opinion. Like, if you were going to compare him to anything that we've had in the past, I would compare him to the homunculus or the monkey bomb. Nonetheless, he is a field upgrade. Before we get into the augment section, I'm just going to give you his basic data for the base field upgrade when you have nothing equipped. So if you get Mr. Peaks and you haven't been tracking his augments or trying to level those up yet in the game while you've been playing Reckoning, you will be starting out with just the regular version of Mr. Peaks. Now, the regular version of Mr. Peaks, according to my data, takes about 107 kills to fully charge up. In the early game, I feel like it is a lot of kills to get to use him. He's very, very powerful, especially in the low rounds, so I understand why it takes so many to fully charge up. When you get to the higher rounds, if you're using this on a high round strategy, it takes a lot less time to charge him up, and honestly, you can get him charged up at least once or twice a round once you get into like the 40s or 50s, so you will be able to use him very often, except on those low rounds. Now, if you really just want to play around with Mr. Peaks and have some fun, you have some gobblegum stashed up, it takes about 62 kills to charge him up with Arsenal Accelerator, and me personally, I probably have at least like 200 of these just saved up from not using them throughout the year. So obviously gobblegums will be carrying forward into Black Ops 7 Zombies, but if you want to just have some fun with Mr. Peaks here towards the end of BO6's life cycle and you've got some Arsenal Accelerators to spare, definitely try and use these if you want to get Mr. Peaks a little bit faster in the lower rounds. Now, when you call him in, he doesn't initially act like a monkey bomb. He's just going to stay to the vicinity of where you call him in and last about 14 seconds. So this is enough to kill off about the entire horde on the lower round between like 5 and I'd say like 10, 11, but he will still leave a few stragglers just because the duration there isn't at its max potential yet. So on the low rounds, he's really cool. He's fun to use. He'll bounce around. He'll kill the zombies like the homunculus will, but he's not really anything too special in terms of ending a round. But I'd say the best thing about Mr. Peaks on low rounds with no augments equipped is that he can kill a normal special enemy if it's his primary focus. So what I mean by that is if you get to the end of the round, or the start of a round, a mangler spawns in and you call him directly on the mangler and you're killing zombies off around Mr. Peaks and he's just targeting the mangler, he will be able to kill him in one duration. So he goes pretty ham on these guys. You'll see later on in the video we'll talk about how he does against elite zombies, but I'd say yeah, the coolest thing about him, especially in the low rounds, is that he can take out some special zombies for you in just one charge. But with the base version of Mr. Peaks out of the way, let's get into all of the augments, and at the end of the video I'll give you my personal combinations that I would run. So we're going to start with the major augments. The first major augment we have is Dance Party. This is that Mr. Peaks becomes the life of the party. Now, the Dance Party augment really turns him into a monkey bomb. That's all this essentially is. If you call Mr. Peaks down with this major augment equipped, all of the zombies will run over to him and start dancing. It's really cool. It's really funny to see this happen. And at the very end of the dance, Mr. Peaks will kind of explode and create an ether blast around the zombies to kill a lot of them off. He won't kill all of them off, but he will get through the majority of them and then weaken some for you to go ahead and finish off with whatever weapon you're using. Again, towards the end of this video, I'll give you guys my like personal pairings, which ones I think are the best and the worst, but for the sake of organization in this video, we're just gonna keep moving down the list here with the rest of the major augments into the minor augments. So the second major augment is called Arcane Fury, and this is that Mr. Peaks has become a master of the elements. What this augment does for you is basically attach elemental pop to Mr. Peaks, and every few times that he kills off a zombie, different ammo mods will proc and activate. I think this is where you can do the most amount of like long lasting damage, because you'll have like dead wire explode, then you'll have brain rot go off, and then you'll damage the horde. So I think this is one that obviously it looks really cool because all these different elements are going off while he's jumping around killing zombies, but I think this one has the potential for the most damage. Now, the last major augment we have here is Apex Hunter. This is Mr. Peaks focuses all of his attacks on the strongest enemies nearby. So an example here is if you call him in next to a horde of zombies in an amalgam, Mr. Peaks will only target the amalgam. Unfortunately, I'd say he doesn't have the capacity to wipe off an entire amalgam. He'll get him down to low health, which does kind of suck, especially if you're getting like ganged up by a bunch of zombies, but it is cool to see him target these amalgams. It is cool to see him target the more elite zombies, and then let's say there's only a mangler on the map or there's 2 doppelgasts, he'll bounce between those 2 different enemies rather than target the zombies. So this isn't just limited to any sort of elite zombie. This will work on the special zombies as well. Unfortunately, I don't think this works in the boss fight either. It'd be really crazy to see him just like pop off against the Guardian or against Richthofen, but I just don't think, and I think they stated this in the blog post, that this will not work against any of the main boss fights. This is strictly against elite and special enemies. Now for the minor augments, these ones do a little bit less for you, but they are a really nice boost to have. The first one is Social Butterfly, which is to increase Mr. Peaks' attraction radius. Again, like I said earlier, this really isn't a monkey bomb unless you're using the Dance Party major augment. So when you do call Mr. Peaks in, the radius is big, but it's not big enough if you want to increase that to kind of get more zombies hoarded up and have them attack more zombies while his life cycle's going on. This is going to be the augment for you. Now, the second minor augment is Peaks' Flavor. This is that Mr. Peaks is good to have around a mystery box location. What this means is that if you call it on a mystery box or a spot where there isn't a mystery box, Mr. Peaks will give you one free spin. I tested this out. I don't think it really juices the odds at all in terms of like what you get from the mystery box. There'd have to be some like in-depth testing for that. Donuts. But I think that where this would really shine is you're at a part of the map where the mystery box is locked. This is good for calling it in, getting a free box spin. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with Wonder Bar, so you can't just get like a free Wonder Bar spin for nothing in the spawn room if you don't want to use like a fire sale gobble gum. This also doesn't allow you to respin either, so it's not like you can get a bad weapon from the mystery box and say, oh, I'll just use Mr. Peaks to give me another spin. Unfortunately, that doesn't work either, but this is a fun one, especially if you're doing a starting room challenge, because you can just sit there and basically call in Mr. Peaks to either give you a free spin of the mystery box or summon the mystery box at an empty location. Now the last minor augment we have is Party Animal. This will increase Mr. Peaks' dance duration. Super, super good. I'm pretty sure this one will increase his duration from about like 14 seconds in the base Mr. Peaks to about 19 seconds, which is really, really, really nice, especially if you're using this as a monkey bomb or if you're using the Arcane Fury augment, because it will give you a little bit extra duration for Mr. Peaks to go off and kill some of these zombies. Now that we've gotten all the augments out of the way, I'm going to give you my personal favorites to use. I genuinely don't think I would run Mr. Peaks' favor, which is the mystery box one, just because I don't have that, you know, play style. Like, unless I'm doing a spawn room only challenge or something like that, I just don't see the use in getting a free mystery box spin when my whole goal in this game is really to upgrade my starting weapon and then get, you know, the wonder weapon from either the box or by crafting it. So I don't think this one's as useful. If you're just trying to have a fun little game with your friends, this could be fun for you, but personally I think the two that you want to stick to for the minor augments are either the attraction of the radius or the Party Animal. Now for the major augments, I'd stay away from Apex Hunter. Like I said earlier, it doesn't fully kill off an elite zombie, which is a little bit of a letdown because, you know, you're using your slot on a field upgrade. You like for it to be really, really OP. It still does a really good job of getting that elite enemy or the special enemies weak enough for you to just quickly finish off with a bullet weapon. But while he's doing this, it doesn't really do any other damage to zombies. So unless you're in particular trying to just go for whatever reason, you know, elite kills, I guess, for camo grinding, I would say stay away from Apex Hunter. But the other two, Dance Party and Arcane Fury, are so nice for this. Okay, so if you want to make Mr. Peaks like a monkey bomb and you really want to do the most damage here with a monkey bomb version of Mr. Peaks, Dance Party is going to be your go-to because it's going to attract all the zombies. They're going to dance around for a little bit and he's going to explode at the end and do some damage. If you're going to use Dance Party, I would say definitely pair it with Party Animal, which is increase the dance duration, just because at that point, like, let's say you call it in at the start of the round, you're gonna want all the zombies to run over to Mr. Peaks and have that extra time for them to get over there and just kind of be hoarded up by Mr. Peaks to eventually explode at the very end, take some damage, and kill off most of the zombies. So I think that the Party Animal minor augment is going to be your best case scenario. You don't really need Social Butterfly for this at all. I think that if you're trying to build this like a monkey bomb, again, definitely Dance Party and Party Animal are going to be your two go-tos to pair together. Now the last major augment, the one I think is the most interesting, is Arcane Fury, which, as mentioned earlier, is basically just Mr. Peaks gets juiced off of Elemental Pop and runs around with all of the different ammo mods proccing. I think this is the coolest one. I think it just does about the same amount of damage as Dance Party, because at the very end, with Dance Party explodes and kills off a lot of the zombies, but not all of them. The same thing here with Arcane Fury. Even if you get good ammo mod procs, it seems like he just leaves a couple of stragglers behind for you to have to finish off. There's not really one build one way or another to make him clear off an entire horde of zombies. There will, of course, just be a few lingering, so again, I think it's personal preference. If you want to build them like a monkey bomb, Dance Party and Party Animal to increase duration is your best bet. But if you want this to kind of do some elemental damage or you just want to see him go ham, I'd say honestly Arcane Fury paired with Party Animal would be good too. You can also use Social Butterfly with Arcane Fury to increase the attraction radius, that the zombies will come around and, you know, get hit by Mr. Peaks while he's bouncing around and whatnot. But Like I said, I think that the best case scenario for you to use Mr. Peaks is going to be Dance Party with Party Animal or Arcane Fury with Party Animal. So there is a little bit of movement here between the top 2 major augments and which ones you want to use. And then the minor augments, again, I think Party Animal is the winner, but, you know, Peaks' favor could be fun if you're just having a fun game with your friends, or Social Butterfly if you want to increase the damage radius of like an Arcane Fury would be cool too. But overall, guys, I think Mr. Peaks is the most interesting field upgrade in the game. I don't know if this would move me away from Ether Shroud if I was playing like really serious, because, you know, if you're crafting him like a Monkey Bomb, I'm probably going to go for Casimir's, Decoys, or even just Monkey Bombs themselves. You know, it does take a little bit longer to kind of throw those down on the ground and whatnot, but, you know, like you can get those back from Vulture Raid with Picky Eater. Whereas, like, what I was looking for out of Mr. Peaks was to just be an absolute menace. And he is, don't get me wrong, he's very fun to play with. He will put a lot of work in for you, especially if you've trained up the zombies. This is definitely the most fun field upgrade to use in the game. It would move me away from like Frenzied Guard or Ether Shroud just to, like, you know, use them and play around with them and have some fun with them. But if I was doing like a serious run on a new map or a serious dedicated boss fight where like I was actively trying to 100% go in and guarantee a win, I think I'd still stick with Ether Shroud. But overall, guys, I really like what Mr. Peaks offers in this game. I think that moving forward, we should see more field upgrades like this that are maybe more unique to zombies rather than just something like Ether Shroud or Frenzied Guard or these like more, I'd say, generic field upgrades. I love what they're doing here with Mr. Peaks. I hope this continues into next year. Let me know what you guys think of Mr. Peaks in the comments below. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a good rest of your day. Stay safe, stay hydrated. Peace.